from the car that we've rented for today and tomorrow. And I am in the middle of a waiting situation, waiting for the immigration office to open so that I can renew my visa so that I can continue to stay in Mexico. And it's 7 in the morning and I am so cold and so tired. We woke up at like 3:40, 3:45 in the morning, and I'm like borderline delusional right now. But since it's super cold outside, Diego has decided to send me back to the car to wait while I come on here and chat with you guys. So if you guys are hopping on to this live video, please make sure to say hello, and you can wait with me and hear me riff about receiving and worthiness. And the reason this topic came about is because I've been having some conversations with some clients about the worthiness to hold and receive money. And one of the things that came up for me a lot is like a realization, a noticing that oftentimes we tell ourselves, like on a conscious level, that we are worthy of receiving. It's like there are a lot of affirmations that we practice to ourselves and we try to remind ourselves consciously that, and with that conscious effort of telling yourself I'm worthy of receiving, what that's actually being expressed is that I deeply feel unworthy of receiving. The only reason why we tell ourselves, we consciously remind ourselves that we're worthy of receiving, if you actually think about it, if you knew that you are already worthy of receiving, if you knew that you are born worthy and nothing has changed, you wouldn't have to remind yourself. So the people that constantly try to remind themselves that they're worthy of receiving are the ones that subconsciously, deep down inside, feel unworthy. So that is the true reflection of how you're really feeling about yourself. Think about a baby. When they're being born, they cry and they get changed and they eat. They don't have to think to themselves, oh, do I feel worthy of receiving food? Let me think about that. Right? A baby just eats. When it has a need, the food comes, and then it just receives whatever it's being put in front of their face, and it goes, and then they get fed, right? So the baby doesn't have to think about their worthiness, and they have nothing to overcome. But as adults, because we have been conditioned, because we have been told maybe as a child that our feelings don't matter, our needs don't matter, we need to prioritize other people first, then we start to question our worthiness. And then somewhere down the line, we've been taught that we have to tell ourselves that we are worthy. But in fact, what I want you to remember is that I'm talking about any kind of living being. Any kind of living being has the ability to just receive, to just have things. So it's really important that we change our mindset and change our perspective to being at a place where we can just have. We can just have. Like, we don't even have to consider ourselves worthy and think ourselves worthy to be able to receive. It's just a matter of having without intellectualizing, without rationalizing, without thinking about it, without debating it, without arguing with ourselves and convincing that we have to first believe that we are worthy and then I can have the thing. If you think about animals, children, babies, the example that I just shared with you above, all living beings just has what they want. I remember feeding my puppy, and even when she was like the tiniest little being, she just knows that the food is hers. She doesn't question, she doesn't ask, oh, can I have it? and she just goes get it, right? So we need to start adopting this very primal. We got to get back in touch with our primal way of being, which is I'm going to get what's in front of me. I'm going to get what's mine. I'm not going to question whether or not if I'm worthy or intellectualize this whole thing of worthiness and allow myself to receive only when I deem myself worthy, because all these affirmations that I'm doing about telling myself that I'm worthy is in fact a reflection of that deep-seated feeling of unworthiness that I feel inside. So the next time you want to go pursue something, just go for it. Be direct, be straightforward with it, and just allow yourself to have it. I think that's really all there is to it. And as I'm getting heated up and passionate about this topic, I feel like I'm starting to warm up again. So I'm probably going to go rejoin Diego at the waiting line and probably tell him to come into the car so he can warm up. So anyway, it's like, oh my gosh, guys, it's so cold. I didn't even think that it would be like colder closer to the time when the sun comes up, but turns out that is actually when it's cold. That is the coldest time during the night, and now the sky is starting to light up, so it's probably warmer right now. So let me know what you guys think about this video. I also did another video yesterday about money and being an energetic converter of money. And this whole idea of just receiving, it just blows my mind to have this revelation that we don't have to be worthy of receiving. I think worthiness is a concept that we came up with, that we learned to come to know. We learned to come to consciousness of because we know what it feels like to be unworthy. And in the feeling of unworthiness, we discovered to learn to feel worthy again. And that's why there's this whole concept of learning to be worthy that exists. But when we realize that, you know what, we can just unlearn what was being placed in our world in the past, that worthiness, in fact, does not have to be a thing. It's not something that we need to acquire. It's not something that we need to learn. It's not something we need to intellectualize. And that it's just something that, like, our life, our aliveness, our well-being, our happiness, money, abundance, prosperity is just something that we can have, then we can have it. It's just as simple as that. There's no need to complicate it. So that's all I have for you guys today in the waiting in line card chat, and let me know what you guys think about this topic. And yeah, I love you so much, and I'll be seeing you guys in the next video.